All right, today we're gonna make something that we don't have a name for, but it's good, isn't it? Let's make up a name for it. Venison, parts and pieces, mushroom delight.
That's very nice. I
like that?
The delight.
All right, she came up with this, and we've added a few things to it, but we're gonna have some stuff that goes along with venison just about every time you fix it. And the best thing about this thing is a crock pot recipe. And generally, to get your pieces to really cook and get done, it takes what, 8-10 hours?
Yeah, at least on low.
And this is one of those things you can pre-make it the night before, and you can, before you go to work, put it in your crock pot and turn it on.
Come home and
Now, tell us what you've got here in front of you.
These are like when we clean the deer. This is like when you cut the tenderloin into steaks and there's that last little piece like this that really is too little for a steak, or like if I go back out and there's pieces hanging, I cut them off. Sirloins.
So that could be neck meat.
It's everything. It's a little bit, it's all we could have made it burger, but it's too good to turn into burger.
And this is about half the amount you need to have the really good recipe that really doesn't have a name.
But for 2 people, it's perfect.
Let's talk about what you have and use in this. What are the important ingredients that you have to make this?
Well, it's pretty simple because it's mushroom soup. Even if you don't like mushrooms, you really can't taste it once it cooks. I like to add a can of mushrooms, and then also
you can use fresh.
Right, and then because I like the juice, using that, and then I like the juice from the mushrooms. I leave it in too, and then beef broth. So those are your 3 basic, and actually a glass, about a cup of wine too.
Cup of red wine.
Yes.
Your
couple scoops of that. Currant jelly.
You know, when you have the salty, if you add a little bit of the sweet in there, it just gives that perfect balance. And you got to have some Worcestershire sauce.
A couple drops of that.
Yeah. You would go a couple drops. I'd go at least a tablespoon.
Okay. And of course, butter.
Butter. Got to have a lot of butter because it's health food.
Exactly.
And you got to have some flour.
All right, now we need to salt and pepper the meat. So if you could help me out with that. Lots of salt and pepper. All right, I'm going to flip them and you go ahead and do the other sides.
You know what? You got a medium size onion here. You use more or less. We like a lot of onion, and we always come back to the yellow sweet onions. It seems to me like they're less acidic.
I like to have big pieces on this.
All right, Nikki, what are you doing now?
Okay, now we're going to throw the stick of butter in. Let's let it melt about halfway. And use real butter. It's the best.
Whole stick of butter.
Yeah, whole stick of butter.
Because it's health food.
Yes. You could go 2 sticks. Let's let that melt. Now we're going to go ahead and let's get these onions in here.
And that in itself starts the wonderful smell.
And I just kind of do this until the butter's melted and I kind of hear the onions starting to crackle a little so I know I can brown the meat. That's what you want. You want to hear that. This is actually perfect right now. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take our salt and peppered meat and I'm going to coat it in flour. And we're just browning this. We don't want to cook it through. I just want to get a coating on it. We'll let it cook just maybe another minute on the other side and this batch will be ready. All right, I think it's ready for the crock pot. It's brown, so I'm just going to go ahead, get it all in here, and get all these onions and this extra. That's the base of our juice.
You've got your deer meat, you've got your onions.
Meat's
browned. It's in the crock pot. All you do is take your cup of wine, your broth, your soup, dump all those ingredients in there along with that.
We're going to stir it up.
Stir it up.
And cook it for 9 hours on low.
You're at work.
Right.
You've forgotten about it, but your crock pot hasn't. It's sitting there. It's all those flavors are getting intertwined, and by the time you get home, it doesn't take but a few minutes to fix all these sides.
Right.
And then
You got a good dinner.
Let's quit talking about it and get it done.
Mushroom soup.
A big old can.
Big can, or you can use 2 or 3 small cans. Whole can of beef broth.
And here comes the mushrooms with the juice. Yummy, yummy. Cup of red wine.
And now currant jelly, I like to put 2 scoops of that in. The secret ingredient, Worcestershire sauce. I just put a couple sprinkles.
And then I come back and put a couple more sprinkles.
I'm just going to stir it up, and it kind of looks like someone put a little extra Worcestershire sauce in there. Just kind of get it all stirred up, and we're going to cover it up and cook it for about 9 hours on low.
And the great thing about this is Bring that. Oh, thank you so much, sweetie. The great thing about this is when you come home, your home is saturated with the smell of this wonderful, wonderful meal. And now
You
I
ready?
have no choice but to try it out. I already know it's going to be good, but I'm going to try it anyway. Now this is cooked for 8 or 10 hours. And,
Right. What do you think?
and the carrots along with it.
Delicious?
I know some people don't like Brussels sprouts, but give them a try. You want to bite?
Yeah, I'm gonna bite.
I'm telling you what, try it out. You're going to like it.